Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor with the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. Thanks to the support of Alaska Public Media, we are able to bring you hangar flying. This evening, we are honored to have Ross Nixon back as our guest. Ross is a commercial pilot, writer, and author of a new book called Finding Carla, the story that forever changed aviation search and rescue. Welcome back to Hangar Flying, Ross.
It's great to be here again, Mary. Thank you.
On our last shows, we talked about some of the positive things that came from an airplane crash and the death of a family. Some of these things include the requirement for ELTs in aircraft and some valuable lessons in conducting search and rescue missions and flight plans. So you're a commercial pilot and you also fly for fun. You have an airplane of your own. Can you give us some advice? Is there one piece of equipment that you never fly without?
Well, with me, I always have survival gear on any of the planes that I fly, and and that means food, clothing, shelter. And I know when I flew in the bush, or not, in rural Alaska, I flew things like Caravans and Navajos and 207s, like a lot of other people have done, and then even now in the Dash 8, I always have a couple thousand calories worth of food with me. I have, if I'm going somewhere, I dress for the terrain. If I'm going to Dead Horse from Anchorage, it might be beautiful down here, but up there it could be 30 or 40 below. And, and I feel that, I'm responsible for what happens to my people that are on the airplane. So I'll always have a snow machine suit in a bag, or I'll have a heavy-duty parka, things like that, so I can take care of my people if I need to, for some reason we need to go outside the airplane. And so I would say that would be it, the, clothing and food.
And I think those were two of the lessons that were really stressed in your book, the hardships that they faced because they didn't have appropriate clothing, and they didn't have adequate calories.
No, for whatever reason, those, they did have extra clothing, and if you read the letters in the diary of these folks that survived it, you can see that they did, they had city clothes, they were going on vacation in Texas, it was warmer, and luckily they had enough stuff that, they had 4 or 5 layers of clothes on, but they really didn't have any, sleeping bags, things like that. Space blankets, I don't know if they existed back in '67, but they could have had a little bit more stuff, and definitely no food. From the start they had lemon drops, some M&Ms, and they describe eating, 6 M&Ms a day and lemon drops, and they had some jelly, from the trees in their backyard that they were going to bring down as a gift, and and that just lasted a real short time, and they're pretty, they ended up eating milk of magnesia tablets and, things like that, and then after about a week they just ran out of everything, so.
I think a lot of the conditions in the book, crashing in the mountains in Northern California, are similar to conditions that somebody might experience in Alaska if a plane were to go down. And I think the lessons in your book are important for pilots everywhere, but especially in Alaska. So do you have any advice for pilots and for people who are flying as passengers to be prepared for, just in event things go badly? Yeah,
I think, again, getting back to, taking care of yourself, you should expect that of your passengers. And, passengers, they shouldn't show up for a flight in rural Alaska or really anywhere just in tennis shoes and shorts. We'd see those sort of things. And, having your survival gear on you, I think, is a good idea if you can do that. Some kind of vest, where you have things in your pockets that, may help you if you're immobilized or sort of trapped in the wreckage. You can take care of yourself. I think that would be a pretty good element. And I think, again, really just sticking to your plan is really important. So, survival gear and then having a plan and staying with it. I just, frustrates me when I hear of people that sort of jump in a plane and go and then they don't have a plan, or that, they don't follow their plan. And then one thing that pilots can do, if they've done all the right things, they have the gear, they have the communications, you know, their fall on the flight plan, is let their family know what to do if they turn up missing. Because a friend of mine just a while ago, he went out to Montague Island and then he didn't call his wife on the sat phone. She called me and said, what do I do? So, you know, we talked and got her hooked up with the trooper dispatch, and they just started launching a helo, a Coast Guard helicopter, to Montague Island, and then my friend did call on his sat phone.
Wow.
And he had not done what he'd always done. Every time he would land, he would call home and say, hey, I'm here. So, you know, those are some of the things that people can do to make things a little bit safer. And then, you know, again, if you go down and your family expects to hear from you, then, you know, the rescue is underway a little bit quicker than, you know, if people know what to do. So.
Good advice.
Yeah.
One last time, can you tell us where and when your book will be available?
Hey, thanks for asking that, because I want to sell books up here, especially in Alaska, because I'm an Alaskan and an Alaskan pilot. But the book is called Finding Carla. It's available on Amazon.com right now. It's on Barnes & Noble's on their website, and then it's on the ASA website, the ASA, the book company out of Seattle. And it's available for pre-order. ASA is going to announce it at Oshkosh at the end of July, and then all the pre-ordered books are going to be shipped out right at the end of July. So if you want it to get a first-run press edition, that's how you can do it.
Very good.
Right.
Ross, thanks so much for being our guest on Hangar Flying.
Thanks, Mary.
Congratulations on your accomplishment, and thank you for working to help improve safety for pilots and the public. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Hangar Flying. Until next time, fly safely.